Hey, business building warrior. Welcome to Silent Sales Machine Radio. I'm your host today, Jim Cockrum. Thanks for joining us. We have an exciting topic for you today. I think this is going to be one of those episodes that really spikes in the viewership rankings around here because it's a topic we've been talking about a lot lately for the past several months that's generated a lot of momentum. And we're finally ready to release the website associated with this course. Go check out provenAZinfluencer.com. That's what we're going to be talking about today with the guys who have launched that program with our community, the leaders on our team, Jim, Ed, and Andrew. You're going to meet them in a minute. The website again, provenAZ, as in Amazon, azinfluencer.com. It's linked in the show notes as well at silentjimdotcom, as well as all the other references that we make today to any other services or tools, websites, that kind of thing. But what they've been working on for several months now, they first approached me, it's been probably 8 months ago, about something that was really working well for them. It's working even better now. They proposed teaching it to our community, and we put it under evaluation. We put several of the coaches on our team and leaders from our team through the content and training that they have to offer, and the results are undeniable. We are seeing several people on our leadership team, several coaches from our team, using the Amazon influencer program to put money in the bank. And let me just give you a quick summary. You're going to hear it on the interview today as well. Basically, Amazon has opened up the doors and said, hey, do you want to make videos talking about any of the products on Amazon.com? If so, we'll upload those videos onto Amazon.com. And if someone happens to watch your video and it helps them make a buying decision, we're going to pay you for having influenced them into a decision. That's where they get the name influencer. You don't have to have a large following on social media to do this. You need a cell phone. You need a willingness to record yourself talking about products that you already know, like, and trust, or products that you haven't discovered yet. There's all kinds of great ways to get free products, and you can do this. So you don't have to ship anything. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to send anything to anyone. No boxes, no tape. This is a beautiful add-on opportunity that's quickly turned into thousands of dollars a month for Jim Ed. And he's doing extremely well with it, as well as Andrew is putting serious money in the bank as well. But he's very busy with his replens business. He's got his bundles that he's doing, and he explains that. So this is just yet another income stream for both of them. But it's a beautiful stream, and it just connects so well to what you're probably already doing if you're an Amazon seller. Now, if you're brand new and you're not making any money online yet doing anything, yeah, you can still do this. Absolutely, as you'll hear today. You don't have to have any Amazon experience necessarily to do this. But we'll talk about the qualifications today and go into plenty of detail, hopefully answer all the questions that you have about the program. And then what you'll want to do is get over to provenazinfluencer.com and check out the course. Even if you're watching this episode well after it was launched, we're still going to have a community there on Facebook for everyone who takes that course, talking about this, going into the details of it. We're going to be talking about it a lot at our conference coming up in May as well. We're going to have over 40 speakers, 40 breakout sessions over 3 days, May of 2024. Of course, I'm talking about the Proven Conference. The website to get more details is theprovenconference.com. And if tickets aren't already on sale, they will be very soon. So be sure to sign up for notification when that happens. A little tip: VIP tickets always sell out, and they will again this year, I'm sure. So if that's something you're wanting to do, be sure to get those sooner rather than later, because those will sell out. General admission tickets, and we typically have plenty of room. We can get a bigger room if we need to at the resort, and we will be able to accommodate just about anybody there. But VIP, which includes some really special experiences, you'll want to be sure to check that out when you're making your ticket decision. But Jim, Ed, and Andrew, our guests today, will be there. They'll be presenting on this topic. I'm anticipating a lot of momentum come May of 2024 for people who are jumping into this early in the year. So, like I said, the website's live. Go check it out. Enjoy this episode. You're going to just see a couple of guys who are very fired up and excited about a program that costs you nothing to get started. There's no purchases you have to make to maintain. It's just making videos and uploading them to Amazon and getting paid. It's that simple. And they've really dialed it in. I can't wait to go through this process with you. I'm going to be in this class, as well as many leaders on our team, continuing to share their experiences, making money together, having fun together, cooperating, The synergy is unbelievable on this. You're going to hear us talk about that today. We're not all kind of protecting our own little territories. We're out there sharing openly. Hey, here's what I'm doing. Here's what's working. Check it out, guys. Look where I'm at. It's going to be so fun. So let's do this together. Let's jump over and meet Jim, Ed, and Andrew. You're going to love these guys. And we're going to launch the website today as you're hearing this episode. If you're hearing it the day it launches, the website is live. Again, that's provenazinfluencer.com. Let's go meet Jim, Ed, and Andrew right now. So Andrew and Jim, Ed, welcome to Silent Sales Machine Radio.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Good to see you fellas again. I'm excited about what we're launching. And let's dive right into it. Let's get just a little background on each of you. Then we'll talk about what we've got for the folks today. Andrew, why don't we start with you, buddy?
Yeah, sure. I've been messing around with online marketing probably since the late 90s. I've been around for a long time. And so I've been doing Amazon probably since 2014. So I've been a PAC. I think I bought the PAC course like probably it feels like 8 to 10 years ago. So it's such a long time ago. And so it's made such an impact in my life. Listen to the podcast so often. And I actually will get to some details about what I'm doing now with bundles. But there was an episode that I listened to that like changed the trajectory of my business when I heard that. There's some guys doing branded bundles. And so that just set off a light bulb, and I've been off to the races ever since.
Beautiful. Yes, I'm excited to get into that a little bit with you as well as we progress here. But Jim, Ed, let's hear a quick overview of your story as well, please.
Yeah, quick deal from me. I moved to Texas, to Dallas from Knoxville in 2005. I've been going to the same church with Andrew. Known him for more than 15 years already.
Oh, wow.
Married, 2 boys, been an outside sales professional for about 19 years. I've had a YouTube channel for 5. And Andrew pulled me into this program in February. And man, it's been something this year. It's been awesome, actually. Can't wait to get into that.
Yeah, great to have you guys in the community. And we've been talking for months building up to what we've got here. And just to fill the audience in a little bit, I may have shared some of this in the introduction as well. But when you guys first approached me about the concept we're going to discuss today, the influencer program, first thing I made you guys do, I do this to everyone. I put you through the ringer, basically said, hey, teach it to some of our leaders on our team. And I just got to say, man, I want to tell you guys and the listening audience today, for their benefit as well, there's been an incredible positive response from the leaders on our team saying things like, this is fun, man, this works. This is exactly what I've been looking for. It's like a breath of fresh air kind of opportunity sitting over here on the side that we didn't really know about. And they're having a lot of fun with it. And it's turned into money for the ones who are doing it. So let's talk about a little bit of that. Maybe let's shell that for just a second, because I want to hear, Andrew, you mentioned your branded bundles. I want to be thorough here, give you a little bit more time to discuss that, because we're super excited about that as well. And there's so many good success stories there. So maybe why don't you fill us in what you're doing there, your numbers, how it's going, and then we're going to jump into the influencer program stuff.
Yeah, it sounds great. Yeah, so I started in 2014. Just give you some really quick history. Started doing books. I feel like it's a typical thing back in the day. It's like doing books, and then I was like, that got too heavy. It was too slow. Then I started doing retail arbitrage, and I started hitting some electronic store, getting some clearance or just low price items. And then I started getting to OA, even wholesale. So I've done the gambit of all these things. I didn't do private label. That's one thing. I never got burned, luckily, on any of that stuff. But then somewhere along the way, I think it was like 2021, I was getting really tired of just the race to the bottom. I was getting discouraged with that, with seasonal items, especially where they were doing so well. Like, oh, I'm getting my price, and all of a sudden there's like 50 sellers on the listing, and the price just drops. And so then I listened to a podcast where this guy was talking about doing branded bundles. And I was like, this is really interesting. So I said, let me try this. So I tried it and started messing around with that in early 2022 or so. Started testing some things out, but I was, busy with my full-time job then. So I was, and I always I'm always like distracted by other things. So I did some drop shipping, not with Amazon, Facebook and other things like that, and just got a little distracted, and then started coming back to that. And then here we are in March, April, May of 2023, starting to build it up. I had about 40 SKUs or so that were branded bundles. And then in June, I got laid off from my job. And so I was like, what's happening here? So then I said, okay, where's the best chance for me to make some money here? As I said, branded bundles. Let's just go ahead and take this and replicate what I'm doing. And I got up to about 106 bundles in September or so. So I just got busy and just started cranking them out. And it's really like, it's just sort of a template saying, okay, this worked with this. Let's try it with some other products. And just got up really quick. I'm not saying this to brag. It just said, I just had to do it. Right? It was almost like this survival mode. I said, let's just do this. This is working. I want to be able to do this full time. I've been talking about doing Amazon full time for many, many years. This is just my opportunity sooner than I thought it was going to come. So I use this as an opportunity, grew it, and then just some revenues. I was kicking around like 20,000 ish, around, let's just say June, right before I lost my job, 20K. And then in November, and then starting in December ish, about 80 to 90K, somewhere in that range, 85K
Per
is
month.
what revenues. And then my profits basically in June were about 3K. And then in November, December, 16, 17K, about 20% profit margin. So that's what I'm looking at right now. And it's starting to become like, and I kind of slow things down a little bit because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm spending $50,000, $60,000 on inventory every single month. Let's kind of throttle back and focus on the best selling SKUs. And so now I'm kind of down to about 50 to 55 SKUs that are selling the best. And my profit margins actually increase because I'm focusing on the really fast movers that sort of turn over in like 30 days.
Great summary, man. I love it. Yeah, it
Thank you.
just shows what's possible with branded bundles. And maybe there's some new listeners today who haven't heard me say this before, but let me just make sure folks understand that especially if you're new, when you come into our community brand new, there's a few different things that we might have you do, but not much. There's just a few things on the table. But once you do any of them well, it kind of opens up the doors. Now you can step into the slightly more advanced ideas. And for the longest time, and still today, and I anticipate at least all of 2024 and beyond, most people, we're going to encourage them to get into replens, online and retail arbitrage, just to get your feet wet. We have people who have built multiple seven-figure businesses, very profitable, fully automated businesses around just that concept. But it does open up other doors. Typically, once you start putting some money in the bank, now you're talking branded bundles, or maybe getting into wholesale, maybe doing some consulting. There's lots of other things on the table at that point. But one of the other ones that we're adding into the mix now is the one I'm excited to talk about today. It's probably the title of the episode today, even. So we're kind of getting around to the main point of the episode at this point. Very excited, been working on it for a while, is the influencer program. And just so we mentioned the website early on, provenazinfluencer.com, AZ as in Amazon, provenazinfluencer.com. So who wants to give me the quick overview of what that thing is? Like, let's give the listeners just a 30-second to 1 minute, like, here's what it is in a nutshell. Which one of you
I can do that real quick if you're cool with that, Jim Ed.
Sounds good.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
So Amazon influencer, what is it? So Amazon Associates, just to give you some background, that's been around since 96. It's
their
an
affiliate program,
right? Everyone's heard of Amazon Associates. Most people have. Amazon influencers came around in 2017. And basically what it was is just a storefront, right? It's like, hey, you're a high power Amazon influencer. You have a storefront for your products. You can feature all your products. Great. But that's not why we're here today. The next step, which happened probably in last year, is called on-site placement was introduced, which means that your video, you actually create videos, product videos, you do a review, you upload it to your storefront, and Amazon places those videos on product listings. So if you're
right on Amazon,
Amazon product listings, right? So it's just there in a carousel. So whatever, and you just tag it, you tag the product you reviewed, and then actually I did a review the other day, and in a day or two, it shows up in many cases on the storefront there, right on the Amazon listing. And it doesn't always show up, but many times it does, and very quickly. So that's it. So what happens is when someone watches those videos and buys the product, you get a commission. So it's a beautiful thing. The commission could be anywhere between 2%, maybe a little like 1.5, all the way to 4%, and even higher sometimes during promotions. So that's it in a nutshell. And it turns around the whole dynamics of having to drive traffic. The traditional affiliate program, right? You need to drive traffic somehow to that. And now Amazon's saying, don't worry about that. We're going to drive traffic for you because we're Amazon.
So if I could add one little thing to that, Andrew's right on it. The thing that's so exciting about it that I didn't realize, because I'm not an FBA guy like you guys. You guys are probably like, we all already know all that. But we all know Amazon's really big. But I was looking at the numbers yesterday, and I've got 700 videos up, and the traffic I am getting in the last 30 days. I had a little over 90,000 people view my videos.
Wow!
Over a 30-day period, 90,000. Wow. I'm like 90,000 people saw me over the last 30 days.
Well, just for some perspective, you guys may or may not have ever heard me say this before. I've been doing e-commerce for 22 years, and I figured out about then, over 20 years ago, I'm not going to spin my wheels trying to drive traffic places, because that was the big thing. Like, I'm going to teach you how to SEO and drive traffic. That was huge for a long time. I never played that game. But you know what? I'm going to go where the traffic already is and see if I can get some of that to my offers, to what I have for sale. At the time, it was eBay. Now it's Amazon. So to recap, and just to say slightly differently what you both have already said, just if sometimes if you say it from a different angle, it starts to make sense for folks. If you know what affiliate marketing is, that's basically just sending traffic to someone else's offer, right? Affiliate marketing. Mm-hmm. Amazon has a program now where you can make a video, drop it on their website. You don't have to drive traffic. They drive the traffic. Like you just said, Jim Ed, you had 90,000 people see your videos. You didn't drive any of those people to those videos. They were already on Amazon. Amazon's basically just saying, hey, instead of dropping a video on YouTube talking about a product you like and trying to send people over to Amazon to get an affiliate commission, your YouTube video is probably not going to be seen by anybody if you do that, by the way, unless you happen to be an influencer or has a huge audience. But if you drop it on Amazon, right on that product, boom. Now, if someone watches that video and makes a purchasing decision, you get paid. And it's a zero cost program too, to get into. Just you got to make a video. If you got a smartphone, you're good. You don't have to have you can have a face for radio and do this too, right? Yeah. How many of your videos, let me just ask you this, Jim Ed, how many of your videos feature your face or you somehow doing something?
Unfortunately, a lot.
So. Yeah. He's exactly correct. And one of the things that we're going to dive deep in, and we'll mention, during the podcast today, we're not trying to hide anything by no means, but I've get a lot of free product in. And one of the caveats of getting the free product in from overseas, they want to see the guy that speaks great English.
That makes sense
on the video. Yeah.
That's a great insight. I mean, just one of, and if we just brainstorm, we could brainstorm for 2 hours. The little lessons you guys have learned and the little tips and strategies that have stacked up over time, as you guys have learned this yourself, taught it to a good number of the people on our leadership team. They've all been impressed. The wealth of knowledge you guys have is incredible, because you just dropped onto the point. I've never heard you mention that, but that's great. You get free product because they're like, hey, we want to get someone that speaks English well. We want to know that it's you that's making the video.
Right.
So they want to see your face. I love that.
Mm-hmm. And guess what? It's about being authentic. So we'll get into these details, but it's when you're doing a video with a product that you're comfortable with, that you've used before, it comes across as authentic. And when you have good lighting, good sound, it's professional. Guess what? They're like, I want that guy to do some of my videos for me. I can't do that. So the better you can do these videos, the better and you'll get better over time. You're going to be hearing from people.
It's as simple as
Amazon's customers are going to start watching your videos and start following your page and want to see more videos from you, because you have that branding for what you're doing there. It's just a beautiful thing.
And it's as simple as when my next door neighbor come over and saw the lighting in my shop that I'm in right now. He was kind of like, wow, where did you get that? What do you think? But I mean, of course, he's seeing it. So that's what you're doing in these reviews. You're letting people see it in action. Because sometimes I see something in a picture and I think it's, it's huge. It's the size of a basketball. And then you get it in here and it's the size of a golf ball, which can be okay. But it's just good to know. They're getting all the little things that they couldn't gather from the text and the pictures.
Exactly. Yeah.
The video demonstrations of pretty much anything that's up for sale on Amazon, and you can get paid a commission. The worst case scenario is no one watches your video. You wasted a few minutes talking about a product you like and uploading a video. Right? There's no fee or fine or expensive penalty of some kind associated with this. It's like how much time you got. Make a few videos a week, a couple videos a day, whatever, over time. I know we'd spent some time a while back. Maybe you guys have perfected this number. I'm just kind of shotgunning things at you as we start to paint a picture here. But what would you say you're making per video? Or is that even a good metric? Like, how would you start to kind of paint a picture of how many videos do I need to make some money here? Like, what's going on?
It's a great question. And it is another one of those subjects we could talk about a couple hours, because Andrew and I talk daily on the phone. And there's another guy, Cody, that we talk daily on the phone. And we've really dove deep into this. So the answer is about $7 or $8 of video typically, but
per month,
the more videos you put up, that is affected, of course. And I haven't ran mine lately. Last time, Jim, we ran that. I think you actually ran it for me. So
yeah, I just did some math in my head real quick and just
said, you were right on.
$7 or $8 a video, right? Per month.
Yeah,
per month. There's a lot of factors in that. and price of the product matters a lot. You start doing some really inexpensive products. I mean, like, I'm a pretty open book on some of this. I've got a Garmin dash cam that I'm right now over the Christmas season. I'm selling somewhere around 12 to 25 of those a day. Well, they're only a couple dollars each on commissions.
Right.
But you start selling 25 of them, it starts to be one of your good items. So, and when we get to the point a little later in the podcast, I'm an open book on all my e-commerce numbers. So I've got it all right here for you guys and for your audience, month by month, the last couple of days, the last 7 days, my average, whatever you want. It's all for you.
Hey, this is your main gig, right, Jim Ed? I mean, this is
my main. So this is my main side gig. All right.
Gotcha.
So I have a few side gigs, but this one is now has risen to the top. For example, I have a YouTube channel. I was making I'm up to a whopping $143 for this month is projections. And I'm making about $3,800 on average a month with the Amazon influencer. So my time no longer is spent on YouTube. It's spent on Amazon influencer.
Great contrast, because you're applying the same skill set, same personality, same effort level of, if YouTube was the one paying you the $3,800 a month instead of 140 some bucks, you'd be focused on YouTube, but you're not. No. Because Amazon is where people go with a credit card in one hand, a keyboard in the other. They're spending money. So Amazon's going to reward you for showing up and helping people find the right products and make good buying decisions.
Here's another amazing
sense.
I'm sorry to interrupt. This is another amazing thing I love about Amazon influencers is that your videos, the videos that we did back in February, March, when we first started doing this, they're still making money. Mm-hmm. So TikTok is an example. TikTok, you do a video, it spikes up and then you're done pretty much. You're done. One day, you're done. You might make some sales, but with this, Amazon keeps driving traffic to that product for you, right? And so as long as you stay on the carousel, I'm not saying you always stay on there, but what I've seen is a lot of products that we have reviewed, they're still on the carousel months later. So it's work you did 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago. It's paying off.
And Jim, you mentioned earlier, and it got me thinking. When you said, sometimes you'll shoot a video, and if it don't hit or whatever, no harm, no foul. It didn't cost you but a few minutes to shoot a video. You're exactly right. But the really, really cool thing is that video just stays up, no problem.
Right.
And we have found that these videos start resurfacing. They show back up later on the carousel. And then Amazon introduces new stuff like, hey, here's some related reviews that you might see. I've noticed some of my real powerful commissioned products not being on the listing itself, but being on hey, you're on this listing and here's a product that's similar to that listing. Check this out. And I'm on it. So I get a commission through that. So,
and you're not the one making those decisions. Those content distribution decisions are all made by Amazon's algorithms.
Yeah, you try to game it, it's not going to work out. You tag that one product, they'll find related products for you. And just like I had a spin bike, I did probably 3 months went by, I did the review, nothing. And now I'm starting to get sales from that. In fact, last night or yesterday, I got a sale for that spin bike. 1 or 2 spin bikes, and that's solid commissions. It's probably like 30, 40 bucks for that. And it's great. It's something I did many months ago. I thought I was gone, and then it's coming up again. So I've noticed that it's great. And another thing too is there's nothing to prevent you from doing another video. You might find, hey, this is really working, or maybe this didn't work. Maybe you fell off the listing. Do another review and do maybe a better job or a different perspective. Okay. And then you can have 3, 4, 5 videos with different perspectives on the product.
Can I delete and replace?
You can, but there's no reason. But it seems like the recommendation is just keep it. It's fine. You have, because it might pop up later. Sure. And so Amazon's not saying, oh, this is going to replace that. No, it's like they're saying, good, do another one, right? So a lot of it's algorithms too, right? It's just like do some more videos and see what pops.
But their terms and conditions are great with you. They just want content.
Yeah, they want content. And they even tell you do as many as you want per video and per product. And obviously don't just do the same thing again and again and again, because that's spammy. But just do different perspectives, and it could really pay off.
That's fantastic. Well, the word influencer scares a lot of people. We probably should have hit this earlier on in the video, but let's just talk some people out of being nervous about that word, if you will. I mean, they do want people who can potentially influence people to make a purchase. So from that perspective, you're going to need some influence.
Right.
You're gonna have to sell things. You have to talk about products that you like,
Right.
influence people towards a purchase. But do I need to be a social media influencer with, like, 100,000 followers on TikTok to do this thing? Like, what's the general qualifications? What are you guys seeing right now as far as someone signs up? What's Amazon looking for? Just as a general rule, I know these things change slightly over
Yeah.
time, but the bar is pretty low from what
Yeah.
I'm seeing.
The answer is you do not need to have 100,000, first of all. And second, it sounds like in general, from what we've seen, that it's changing constantly. It seems 2 or 3,000 followers in general for, say, Facebook, a Facebook business page, Instagram, YouTube, maybe need a few more. Jim, Ed, you got in with those subscribers. Again, it's different subscribers versus followers. TikTok seems to be lower. Like, you could actually have, maybe, I've heard people with less than 100 followers get in because they have really good engagement. And with TikTok, the algorithm is different, right? Because I've seen that before. You can have a video pop off and you only have 10 followers. You can have thousands of likes on one video, which could make your account. And that's different. So each social media platform has its own nuances for sure. But I'd say it depends. But you don't need to have 100,000, right? You need to have, like I said, a couple thousand for Facebook and Instagram. I think the overarching theme is engagement. Make sure you have it's an engagement on those social media accounts. And secondly, it needs to be aged to a certain extent. The older, the better. And I would say 3 months minimum. You really want your account to be, they don't want brand new accounts. They want an account to be at least three months or older. And if you have an account that's years old, I would say, if you're trying to get in, start with that age seasoned account, and you have a lot better chance of getting in with that.
Those of us who've been on Facebook for a while, maybe we set up a page or profile or something that you've got a few people following you,
Yeah.
paying attention to you. Odds are that's probably going to be pretty good to get you approved. Because I went through the approval process myself, and okay, I've been doing Amazon and e-commerce consulting and coaching for a long time. I got a lot of people following me, so it was pretty easy for me to get through.
Mhm.
But I want to speak to the person who's saying, well, I'm on Instagram and I'm on Facebook, but I don't have a whole lot of people following me. Is this for them as well? And I'm hearing, yeah, it is. It may take a little bit of work. You may have
Yeah.
to do a couple things. And I think that's going to be part of what we're going to teach in this class we're talking about. Again,
Yes.
provenazinfluencer.com. If you have trouble getting approved, we want to help you out with that as well, strategically.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's it.
So this is
Yeah,
for
so Jim,
anybody who's interested.
And we've helped a lot
Yes.
of people, a lot of our friends, and some people have reached out, and some people in your community as well. And the one thing you don't want to do is spin your wheels in a section where it can't be a personal Facebook page, it has to be a business. Some of the little details on some of that is where we can help you a bunch. And I mean, you can do the research, but
Sure.
we've done the research, and between Andrew and I, typically we're going to have the answer, or we can get it pretty quick. And yes, we will deep dive all of that in the class.
Very good. So people who find themselves qualifying very easily, you can move right on to some of the more advanced content. People who are struggling to get approved for the program, we're going to help them out as well.
Exactly.
And, I love the price point. We're recording this content, just for full transparency, several weeks before we actually launch the class. We're still pulling the details together. provenazinfluencer.com. You can go, if the site's not live yet, it will be very soon as the point that this podcast is released. But it really is for anyone at any point of experience level in affiliate marketing, social media. This really isn't rocket science. I love how simple this is. It's basically put in the work, get the reward. Set it up once, the money just continues to trickle in. I'm curious, Jim Ed, you've got some impressive numbers. You said 700 plus videos. Are some of those videos you made early on when you didn't quite know what you were doing, kind of thing, as you were kind of feeling your way through this? Are some of those performing for you?
Yes, absolutely. So that's the thing that like gives me chills about this program is I started in February. I did $259 in February, which, you know, that's not much, but for starting in February, oh, I'm sorry. I started late February. For March, I did 259
Of this year,
of
we're
this
talking
year.
less than a year ago. Yeah.
$259. And it's like, well, that's not much, but it's like, well, dang it, 143 on YouTube. Been doing YouTube I'm in my 5th year of YouTube, so 259 is pretty good. I'm like, oh, I haven't done anything yet. And I've made $259. Are you kidding me? So I quickly started making my first video. And here's what you'll find, Jim. Once you do about 50 or 100 videos, and you start looking around and you get the most expensive stuff first, you're going to have a product hit. I had a product hit that was about $50 a commission, and I started selling 2 or 3 of those a day, a lot of days. And then there was another like similar product that I did. One week I looked up in June. I looked up, and for the week, last 7 days, I had made $3,000. And
Wow.
I'm over here going, $3,000 in a week. I may need to be thinking about what I'm doing for a living. It may need to be this. I
He
mean,
was ready to quit it. He was ready to quit his job. Yeah.
yeah,
But
I
wanna say
wasn't
something
really
quick though,
ready,
Jim, Ed.
but
This was
I'll-
funny when you first got started. It was really funny. Like I was at church. I said, "Hey, how's Amazon Influencer doing? You've been, for a week or so." You're like, "Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any sales or anything." And he was looking at the wrong place, the wrong ID. And then he looked at it. And he goes, "Oh, I made $30 or something." But you were kind of cavalier about it. And then it started then really snowballing. And then you got really excited. And then Jim Ed, the way Jim Ed is, when he's in, he's all in. Like he says, "Okay, if I'm making some money here," and like he just went crazy.
let's see what it'll do.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like if you hustle with this, you're going to see results, right? So I'd be really shocked if you're not going to see results. It's not going to be like perfect one-on-one. Like every video you do, you get more money. But he's doing a little higher price videos, but he's hustling. So when you put your nose to the grindstone, you're going to reap rewards from doing this. And I think I'd say in a sense, maybe you're a little bit of an outlier, Jim Ed, but I think anyone can sit down and crank out videos if they put their mind to it.
Well, we're
We've got
hearing
some
from
people
people
that
on
we're
our team.
working with, and they are just taking off, and they're seeing the numbers come in, and we're really proud of them.
Yeah, there's people on our team doing it. That we've had people on the podcast that are doing it. They're going to be part of this community that we're putting together. I think there's going to be a lot of excitement at our conference this year in May about this topic, breakout sessions and such. People doing it. It's just a great multiple income stream strategy to tack on. We're very bullish about this, but I just want to clarify one thing. For people who are kind of, I've learned people kind of listen to our podcast in passing sometimes. Like stuff kind of goes over their head because you just said, I was selling, several per day of a $50. You weren't actually taking physical possession of those products and selling. You made a video, and that video was resulting in those sales. You didn't see or touch that product. You have nothing to do with sourcing that product or
right,
storing it or shipping
no
it.
investment in it,
Right.
Nothing. You're exactly right.
You're
And
just
close the
making
loop on your.
You're just making a video and putting that video on Amazon, and you're
These are
done.
products in your home. You start with that's low hanging fruit, right? Products in your home. You don't have to go out and buy stuff. You don't have inventory.
Right.
That's a beautiful thing. It turns FBA on its head, like saying FBA is great. This is different. You don't have to carry inventory. In fact, a lot of these times you're seeing products that you're buying, and I've actually reviewed in some cases products I'm selling on Amazon.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
And even
Why not?
you get returns or whatever. But we just know what's selling well. And that's the beautiful thing about it. You might say, "Oh, I would never sell this product on Amazon." Sometimes even products you don't sell because it's so low priced, or $20 or $30, whatever. But that product, why not do it? If it takes you 30 seconds to do a review, why not do it? Why not review it? Because you don't have to have any inventory. It'll just sell it again and again and again and again.
Yeah. And, as one of the mottos around here for the replin sellers, for those selling on Amazon as new students especially, is inch deep, mile wide, meaning you're selling a few units of a bunch of different products.
Yep.
Okay, let's make reviews on some of those products. They're passing through anyway.
Exactly.
Open up a box, talk about it, show it off, maybe do a little research on it if you have to learn about what it is, what it does, know your product a little bit more. Boom, done. Put it in the box, you're done. You never have to make another video if you don't want to, but it's sitting out there now as a little income producing machine as people see that video and then buy that product. It's so complementary to what we do around here.
Absolutely.
I feel like we could talk forever about it. Well, I got to imagine you guys both, rather than me just kind of driving the show with questions, are the things that you guys are itching to deliver. One of the things I want to be sure to hit is, what are we going to do in this class? provenazinfluencer.com, again, is the website. There's a link in the show notes at silentjimdotcom. Jump in there. Even if you're listening to this well after the class is launched, we're going to be welcoming in new people at any given time, I got to imagine. I want to be sure to hit, what are we going to cover in that class, just from a high level? What can people expect? And whatever else is on your guys' minds, rather than relying on me to ask all the right questions. What are you guys seeing? You guys have helped a lot of people get this thing rolling at this point. I'll just let you two take it away, man.
Let me hit it first real quick. You asked me something that was great, and a comment that you made that spurred something on else that was great. I buy more than my fair share of stuff on Amazon. I love it. If it doesn't come from Amazon, but it is sold on Amazon, it is fair game to review.
Yep.
Amazon is great with that. No problemo. This week, Jim, I had an amazing day. It wasn't my biggest day. My biggest day happened that week. I made $3,000, but I had a $531 sales day, or not sales day. Sales were much more than that. A commission day, $531. And I don't normally do this because it's like 95 items that shipped, but I went ahead and went through every single item to see what shipped, even the stuff I make 70 cents on. And part of the approval process, you have to make 3 videos. One of my original 3 videos was one of the items sold that I made back in February.
Wow. Okay. So that answers my question. Some of those old videos where you didn't know what you were doing, probably just your cell phone and you shaking the camera, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Love it. Oh, that's so cool.
So as far as the course, Jimmy, you're going to talk about
let's talk. I'm gonna let you talk about the course a little bit. There's so many things we're excited, and I'll get off track. I know you're going to mention the Q&A part of the course. That's probably what I'm the most excited about. So go ahead and take it.
Yeah. So it's going to be webinar style. We'll have a Facebook group. There's a lot of these OA simplified, for instance, and then also there's a brand bundles course, very similar style of that. We're going to basically do probably 1, maybe 2 a week. On this, we'll get a Facebook group, and then we're going to get on there and do webinar style. And what I love about that, it's if you show up live, you're going to benefit because we'll have Q&A after every one of those. And that's the power of this right here. So just to give you a sense for the modules, I'll probably be somewhere like in that 6 weeks, range or so where we actually have course content. So it's going to be definitely a couple weeks about getting approved. That's a big sticking point for people. So we're going to talk about getting approved. And then part of that Q&A is going to be like, show us your social media account. If you're okay with it, we'll make sure they're okay with it. Show us some videos you've done, and we'll give you some tips. We'll have some examples of videos that we've done. We'll show you some examples of some good social media accounts.
Time out for just a second, guys, because I want to emphasize this is cool.
Yeah,
I love what I'm hearing right now. And it's probably something you guys may not even notice, but Replen sellers love cooperating with each other. We love sharing ideas, but when it comes to, hey, this is the items I'm selling, I'm not going to just throw that list out there into the public. I don't necessarily want everyone seeing exactly what I'm selling all day, every day. Prefer not to put that in the Facebook group, right? Mm-hmm. But with this, it's like, why not? It's like, here's a few of my videos. Here's my social media account. It's a chance for us all to kind of pile in and synergize and look what the other guys are doing. And if someone else hops on one of your $50 items and makes a video and they get a few sales too, whatever, man, I'm making, 3, 10 new videos a week. Doesn't matter if there's one more person with a video, because Amazon pays whatever random video the customer happens to view right before they make a purchase, right? So maybe it's yours, maybe it's mine. Maybe I'm the one that influenced them to make the purchase this time. It'll be someone else next time. Right. So we can cooperate. That's the point I wanted to drive home while you were talking about that, reviewing each other's videos, reviewing each other's social media accounts. We'll get back to the show in just a moment, but I have to tell you about a coaching program that's been around for about 19 years. It's coached almost 10,000 e-commerce business building warriors. It's got a team of about 60 coaches who are not only great teachers with tremendous hearts who love their students, but they're all succeeding at the business strategies that you hear taught on this show. If you haven't figured it out yet, I'm talking about our coaching program. There's a link at silentjimdotcom. Get over there, get on our schedule, have a free consultation, zero pressure. We're going to help you build your business on that call. Sign up at silentjim.com. Free consultation. See if our coaching program is a good fit for you, where you get to not only work one-on-one with one of our tremendous coaches. Not only do you get that, you also get a reactive coach that you can contact at any point in time. That's a separate coach. You get all the training and content that we provide around here at no cost now and into the future. Tremendous list of benefits. I'm not going to go into all of them right now. silentjim.com. Click on the coaching link, sign up for a consultation. Hey, let's get back to the program. Amazon pays whatever random video the customer happens to view right before they make a purchase, right? So maybe it's yours, maybe it's mine. Maybe I'm the one that influenced them to make the purchase this time. It'll be someone else next time, right? So we can cooperate. That's the point I wanted to drive home while you were talking about that, reviewing each other's videos, reviewing each other's social media accounts.
And the community is huge, right? It's encouraging people. I got in because we're in some groups. We're seeing these groups like where they put the little confetti, say, I got in. They did a screenshot. It's great. We celebrate those with each other. So as people are getting in, what social media account did you use? Did you use TikTok? You just, oh, I use YouTube this time. What? YouTube? That's interesting. So, I mean, and
Yes.
then really sharing these lessons, you'll start seeing some momentum saying, wow, people are getting in with it was TikTok, now it's Facebook. And then let's see what's going on with Facebook now. So there's a lot of that learning from each other, the learning from the group of people. And we're the
Mhm.
teachers. We don't have all the answers as far as like what Amazon's looking for to get in. We do know best practices, but because things are changing, it's great to have that community. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's big part of what we're
And
doing.
I couldn't have
Yeah.
accomplished what I accomplished without the community, and that
Yeah.
being Andrew
Yeah.
and some other people and some people from your community as well that
Yeah.
we've been helping. As you're well aware, Jim, you don't have all the answers for PAC either, but you put a
Nope.
bunch of people together, there are a lot of answers there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Find your people, then you find your purpose. As a saying, I love saying, and these are the people I love building business with. I don't care what that business turns out to be eventually. I mean, if dog daycare centers becomes the thing and we all kind of do it together and figure it out in our different regions, hey man, let's have fun with it. Right now it's e-commerce and it's replens and it's all
Yep.
these other resulting opportunities that kind of pile on with it. But it's the people that's the magic around here. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to do this with a community from this group and some of the opportunities we have. And not to derail, I want to get through your list of what's in the course,
Mhm.
Andrew. But we've got opportunities for events where you can go and maybe we kicked this around, and I don't want to spill the beans too much on this because it's a little premature, but I live in an area where we've got big events. You could come and you can just walk up booth to booth and people will say, oh, I'd be happy to demo this thing for you. Right.
Oh
In
yeah.
shows, trade shows and such. Yeah. Well, I'll demo it for you right now. Why not? That's your video. Throw
Mhm.
that out on Amazon, right? Now you've got another video, a pro demoing a product and they're glad to do it because they're trying to sell it. So those kind of shows that we can attend together, free product being reviewed that you don't have to actually purchase, because that is one of the constraints that we've heard people say, like, where am I going to find all the product? You hear about people renting Airbnbs and just so they
Yeah.
can take videos of the stuff that's in the house and do reviews, all kinds of creative ways. But doing this as a community is just going to be so fun.
Oh yeah.
I'm as excited about that as I am anything, because it's just a way for people to gather around something they're doing together and all benefit.
Yep. Jim
Well, hey,
loves this one. When we were when we were actually at the conference, back conference, we were in a hotel doing some reviews from products around us. So pro tip here: if when you go to a hotel, look for a janitor cart and do a video of that. So we joke around because I'm selling that janitor cart every couple of weeks or so. And it was a
You're
simple little video.
kidding. The janitor cart in the hallway at the hotel.
Yes.
Jim, you
Yeah.
start this program and you're like, you'll do your first 50 videos. You'll look around, you go, well, I've done everything, and then give it a month, you'll be laughing like, hey,
Just
remember
don't
me
go to
last
retail.
month?
Yeah,
Dude,
just don't go to a retail store. Do not.
I got this ring light above my computer. I'm going to do one of those when we're done.
Yeah,
Man.
just
Like,
don't
hey,
go to a retail store and do it on the shelves. I thought about last night. There was like a bag. I was like, this is so easy. I could do this in the store. Academy. My wife's like, don't do it. I was like, I wasn't going to. But yeah, don't circumvent the rules for sure. There's best practice. There's rules. There's best practices. There's also like, do not do this. So we'll talk about all that. But I'm mostly joking. But no, that's an opportunity. There's some simple products. You don't necessarily have to be using that every day to be able to say, hey, this is this is the faucet. This is a shower head. You might be, he knows about shower heads. So it happens to be in his hotel room. So why not? Right. He has some experience with that.
Yeah.
So
Some
it's
of
like
those sold. Some of those sold
thinking
as well.
creatively, thinking outside the box, not being afraid to try things.
So
and
one
the
thing we've
replens
seen,
experience is a big advantage too, because what the hot movers are,
Yes.
what has a
Yeah.
lot of momentum right now, being
Yeah.
able to read a keep a chart. I
Mhm.
imagine it's going to be a very helpful skill. So you're not
Yeah.
wasting your time on high priced products that aren't actually selling, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Very true.
Yes. 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 Cool. So you said, Jimmy, we're going to say something. I'll just keep on going through the outline here real quickly.
well, one thing I was going to mention that, and Andrew and I try to study what everybody else is doing as well. And a lot of times we're like, why are they telling people that? Like, I'll give for instance, a little more spill the beans here, if you will. People are saying, well, at some point you're going to run out of products and you're going to you just go buy them, go buy these products. And he and I bounced this back and forth, and we're just like, we just can't see it. I got a free dog crate in the other day. I don't need one at all. I do have a dog, but I don't need a crate. It was $225. Now,
Yeah.
yes, I've already sold some. Okay, that's great. But you start thinking 3% of that, we're only a little north of $6, if my math's right. So I went ahead and sold that thing. I did the video. I put it up for sale on Facebook Marketplace. I sold it for $175. So somebody got a brand new one for $50 off, which was great. but I've got to sell 10 of these before I'm in the black if I had purchased it.
Right.
So one thing we're not going to teach in the class is, hey, go start buying expensive items so you can make big commissions.
No.
No.
Yeah.
There's ways to get free product. I mean, that just blows me away. That example you used earlier, Jim, had these international, and I experienced this when I was in Guatemala, guys. We adopted our youngest, our only daughter, when she was an infant from Guatemala, and we were actually in country for a couple months. While I was there, connected with a church, and they're like, hey, do you mind doing some English speaking classes? I'm like, I don't speak Spanish. Like, that's the point. People want to hear English spoken authentically.
Right.
They want to learn how Americans speak English. All you got to do is show up and speak English, right? These are slightly advanced students, and they'll be interacting with you in English. How much they just craved to hear about life and experiences from an English speaker. All these international products they're trying to get on Amazon.
Yeah.
You start showing up and do that, you're just going to get all these interesting products. What a fantastic opportunity. Just speaking English intelligently, describing their product. They're going to throw products at you once you get into this network. Incredible.
They do, Jim.
Incredible opportunity.
Right.
And then you can sell those on Facebook Marketplace or eBay or whatever, right?
And a beautiful thing that Jim Ed's done is he's shared his contact with his friend Cody, and he's getting stuff now. So it's like there's enough to go around for everyone. And so that's a really cool thing. Jim Ed's like, hey, I got enough stuff. I got 50 boxes in my that I have to review.
Jim, I was getting about 8 or 10 boxes a day at one point. We're like, we're having to slow down. I can't do this many videos this fast. My wife's starting to go, what's going on here? That kind of thing.
Thanks for sharing your contact with me, by the way, Jim Ed.
Free inventory, cool, and you're going to get paid to talk about it for a couple minutes from the moment you make the video indefinitely into the future, as long as that product's on Amazon.
And get this, Jim, this is the crazy part. They not only send you free product that you're going to do reviews on and get paid from Amazon, we'll teach you how. It's not that hard. There's some little things you can do. I've gotten to the point where now I get paid about $10 to $20 for every free product they send me to do the video on as well.
And another way that you get paid that besides selling the product and making the video.
Yeah. So those numbers aren't even mentioned, but I've made over $1,000 over the last few months in my PayPal account of getting 10 for this one, 20 for that one, got paid $70 for a video before. So this is a program that is just no overhead cost and on the front end. And it's just money coming in. It's just going to cost you some time and effort.
And we didn't even talk about this, but this is just really a starting place for a lot of people. You're getting skills. You're learning these skills, right? So there's been people, actually someone I'm following, he said it's just a foundation for greater things. For instance, UGC, user-generated content, it's not going anywhere. In fact, it's taking off right now. So if you can get better at creating videos, brands are interested in you. Brands want authentic. They don't want to do ads, right? They're still doing ads, but they'd love to be able to have people do ads for them. And TikTok's starting to do that. All these platforms. Right. So if you can learn to get really good at doing videos, just think what that could do for your career, maybe a job that you have already, you get better at that. Brands are approaching you. You can do more on social media. Well, so it's just a place to start, really. But there's a place to start that you can make a lot of money as well. So it's
just an angle I promise. I almost guarantee, maybe you guys have thought of this, but I'm doubting you have.
Yeah.
That there's a biblical component here. You may have heard me say this before, but leadership, business is a leadership journey, right? And that's an easy argument to make. If someone doesn't believe me there, I could talk you through that some other time. Okay, so now we're on a leadership journey. Leadership always entails, without exception, the next level of leadership always entails using your voice, using your face, speaking, talking, presenting, getting out. So sometimes I'll hear from entrepreneurs, you're like, okay, I want to do e-commerce because I don't ever want to be seen or heard. Like, no, sorry, there's nothing for you. It's only dead ends. I want to be isolated away from people and just push buttons on my keyboard. Never be seen, never be heard. No, the next level of growth in leadership is always using your voice, using your face, getting comfortable with it. We had one sweet lady in our community tell the story of Nancy. I haven't told her story in a long time. She made wreaths and sold them for $80, $90 at a time on eBay. Was doing well with it. Came to me as a coaching student. I talked to her, worked with her for probably a year before I convinced her to turn on a video camera, show people how you're doing what you do. That quickly exploded into her being a world's foremost influencer, and she's still out there doing what she does. Ladybug Nancy.
Nice.
All kinds of content, her face on
Yep.
CD covers and presentations and videos she texted me, this has been years ago, just past 1 million followers or 1 million views on YouTube, right?
Wow.
She was very resistant to putting her own face. I'm like, no, 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 that's not me. I finally pushed her over that edge
Yep.
and just exploded. This is a nice, gentle introduction into that. We're not saying go influence millions. We're saying make a video and a couple people a week might say, hey, that was useful. I'm going to buy that product and Amazon's going to send you a few bucks. Right? You make enough of those. But the biblical component, again, that I just want to point out is your next step of leadership always entails using your voice, using your face more. So we're encouraging you in a very healthy direction. Isolation will not bring you more business. Putting your name, face proudly out there, talking about the things you like, sharing authentically. Or I
Yes.
like the word better than authentic. I like the word
Yeah.
transparently.
Yeah.
Right. Just here's what I got. Here's what it is. Here's what I think it's for. Here's my experience with it. What do you guys think? And check it out. Done. And you could be putting money in the bank for doing that. And if that sounds like too much, talk to me. I will convince you. Yes, you need to turn on the camera. You need to create more content. That is the future. User generated content is huge, not just on Amazon, but in many other ways. As you're experiencing, Jim Ed, you never set out to be a e-commerce influencer or a social media influencer. Just this kind of fell into your lap, and this is where you go. These are the next steps.
Right.
And
You put it very well. I like how you frame some things because you're right. I'd never thought of it that way. But I kind of sort of at one point to challenge myself, I did start the YouTube channel and I felt like that way I could put myself out there. I could learn because there's nothing like watching a video of yourself and you're your biggest critic,
Oh,
"Oh,
yeah.
man, I can't string a sentence together. What's wrong with me?"
Yep.
But you start doing some of that and you start going, wow, I didn't know I say that. I didn't know I sounded like that. You start correcting a few things. Of course, your audience is hearing the voice. It's like, you hear what this guy's saying over here. I know I still have an accent and all those things, but it's a lot more put together than it used to be.
Well, no one knows or cares. My dad used to do a lot of presenting and speaking, and he'd be videoed or whatever. He said, if it doesn't bother you, it doesn't bother the audience. If you let it bother you, they'll notice. Just don't let it
Right.
bother you. Just
Yeah.
present, just talk. If you want to get better at those kinds of things, a tip that, again, my mentor, Rabbi Daniel Lapin, said, read out loud to yourself a book, a good book or a good speech. Just read out loud a few minutes a day. Your ability to communicate and put together good sentences and speak effectively and influence others is going to rocket up the charts, man. That's one way. Anyone can do that. Just read out loud to yourself.
Yeah. And I was just
Great
thinking a
tip.
couple tips too, like
Great.
just the idea of you're just telling someone about a product that you like. So, and Jim Ed, we're going to talk about this a little bit also, is that you might ask me a question. Pretend Jim Ed asked me, why do you like this bottle here? Why do you like this bottle? Well, I like this bottle because of this. It's like it keeps stuff cold for a long time or whatever. So you just start talking about it like you're talking to a friend. So if you can do that, that's really good. The other thing I was thinking too is influencer has become a dirty word. And we actually, my other job, my former job, we actually, these influencers, not Amazon, but influencers actually said, I don't like the word influence. I like content creator. We call ourselves content creators.
Yeah.
That seems to be a little better, right? You're creating content. That's what you're doing. So you're not trying to influence people, but if you do a good job, it's going to influence people in a positive way. So and I think that's probably a good way to look at it.
And does it have to be you? Because I think we need to emphasize that. A lot of times people are like, well, I'm out. I mean, if I got to be on video, I am out. 100% no way.
Well, Jim,
Does
we've
it
worked
have
with
to be you?
people. I've worked with a guy and he wanted to do it and he's good at editing already. So he had a lot of, tools in his chest already. And he got to figuring out that, his wife is better at being in front of the camera than he is.
Yeah.
And now she's the one doing it. So yeah, there's options there. Andrew, can you speak to the terms and conditions right off the top of your head?
For what?
Or somebody else?
Does it have to be
doing
you?
the video? on your channel?
I don't see any issues with it at all. I think you can be creative as far as like you can even say like my last name is Lanciani, so it's like it's gonna be just called the Lanciani team, right? So we have it's like my family members, my friends. So I haven't seen anything that says you can't have people doing it. That obviously down the road, what's it going to look like? You need to make sure it's good to have an introduction saying this is so and so with the Lanciani team. That's probably better because Amazon needs to, if they see, hey, this is stolen content, if you're introducing yourself every time as I'm with the improvement channel, I'm with this or whatever that is, then I think it's going to be better. I don't want to get into the weeds too much, but in general, there's creative ways to do that. So you can have other people doing reviews for you. I had my father-in-law do a really good review for a tool he uses. I couldn't even start explaining that tool. He was doing it, did a great job. It's on the listing. It's making sales.
Didn't one of you have some work done on a hot tub or plumbing or something and have the plumber make a video? Was that you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of my top items.
Oh,
so
okay.
you mentioned earlier that we're all a community and we all share. And you're at 99.5% right. But typically, like on top items, we make a lot of money on. Sometimes we don't share as much. But I did actually. And when he was over there working on it, he gave a real just in-depth review about what he didn't like about it. But he framed that thing that he didn't like as it may not be that big a deal to a lot of people because this is how it works.
Yeah.
And that's one of my top products. And probably my top product.
Well, podcast edit, Jim. Podcast edit. Edit that part out.
Just kidding. Yeah, no, you're good with all that.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like there's an unending flood of potential products to continue making videos. And like, what is your routine? Like, how much time are you putting into this, Jim Ed? Like, a few hours a day, few hours a week, as far as creating videos. Like, how much time, focus, time, effort, and energy goes into you maintaining what you've got rolling?
Well, I was watching a YouTube video today, and they're talking about some of this stuff and about how it's only 2 or 3 hours a week. And I really wish I could say that it was only 2 or 3 hours a week. I would say on average, because there's weeks you do nothing. So we're probably averaging, I'd say 6 to 8 hours a week on it. And then that can get pretty intense sometimes when we're doing like a 12-hour day on Saturday, because we're like, we got 50 items on the shelf that's come in, and they're kind of like, man, it's been a week or so. We're, they're pushing. And, you get through that, and we're at a point now, and this is ever changing, of course. We're to a point now where we have everything's current. We've got 4 products that's been here for about 2 days. We're going to do those tonight. And my wife just cannot stand things not completed. And she sees 40 items and she's like, that's days of videos worth. No good. So we're trying to get more to a point where we're hitting 3 to 5 videos every evening for maybe 45 minutes, and instead of trying to do a 12-hour day on Saturday.
I got another question for you, Jim Ed. Thanks for painting a picture too. I think people like to kind of like, what if I put some time, effort, and energy into this? What might it turn into? So let's talk 2024 for just a moment.
Yes.
Give me a range of best case, worst case scenario of what you think your monthly payouts will be, say, fourth quarter of next year on the trajectory you're on now.
Sure.
Does that question make sense? So we'll jump forward in time 9 months. You're well into year 2 of doing this. You got your routines, you've got your momentum. What's your check in October?
Okay. So let me tell you this, and just so you can get a little color to me. October, I predicted that I would do, I told Andrew, I'll do 5,000 in November.
For 2023.
For 2023, I predicted I'm going to hit 5,000 for the next month.
Right.
And I hit 5,200. So typically I'm conservative in my picks.
But you're good at picking your numbers.
I do pretty good at forecasting. I'm in sales. So yeah.
Exactly. I was going to say, so you got a sales background.
And being in sales, you don't ever forecast that I'm going to do 10,000 next month and come up with 9,400. It's like, I'll do 10,000 next month because I know I'm going to do 11, right? Yeah, I'm going to probably do about 10,000. Yeah, then you do 11. So
come in ahead.
Yeah. I'm thinking there's going to be some little bit slower months, but as soon as March hits, I've been there before because I started in March of 2023. I know what to expect come in the spring. There's going to be stuff like this in the class. You're going to have my experience in the class. So as soon as April hits, my prediction is I'll probably do $1,000 to $1,500 more every month than I did in 2023. So I've got my numbers right here. Let me run them down really quick for you. In April was kind of when things got kicked off. I started in March. April, I did 2341. So I hope to do 3341 next year. May 5937. So I think I'm going to be averaging out instead of about 4,000 a month. That's where I'm at now. I think next year will be about 5,000 a month, which does more than make my payment.
I thought you meant 1,000 more every month, and so making
not stair step.
1,000 more than the prior month.
Now you sound like my boss at work.
Same month last year.
your regional manager's like, oh, I thought you're just going to exponentially grow the sales. Yeah. No. Yeah. 1,000 or so,
It sounds to me like
1,500.
there is a little bit of a drop off too on some of the videos that produce for a while and then kind of stop producing.
Not necessarily. Could be.
Surprisingly
It's
not.
pretty random. It's not,
Because I would expect something other than a linear, I would expect something other than a linear. I would expect more of a curve.
It seems to be more seasonal.
Yeah.
So like weirdly, that product that you tried to out me on earlier, I've sold some this week and it's totally out of season. So when it comes back into season, my expectations is for it to fly. And then I'm going to, because I've been there before, I'm going to build around that with similar products that are also going to fly.
But there's some other things too. Also, Amazon does kind of tinker around with things sometimes. And so a few months ago, they were tinkering around and there were some declines because of what they're doing. So that we're not guaranteed they're not going to, let's do this, let's remove some of these, or let's, fewer on the carousel. Let's just put it in one place instead of two places. So there's things they can do. And that's probably part of what you're seeing there. But I would say all things constant, if they didn't do that, you probably would be on a nice linear uphill.
Yeah, it would be
good.
All right. Yeah. Let me run through them real quick, Jim. April 2,300, May 5,900, June 3,600, July 5,600, July 5,600, August 4,600, September 4,000. October they were tinkering heavily, 3,494, so 3,500. November of 2023, 5,200. December should eclipse that.
Yeah.
So you're expecting the best month ever as December 2023?
Yes, I've predicted it to be 6,000 to 7,000.
Yeah.
So it's going to be right there, pretty close with May. Hopefully, it does exceed.
We're well into December right now. It's hard to know for sure, but okay. So I would expect by this time next year, you're going to have more than a $6,000 or $7,000 December. I would think, based on what you're telling me now.
Yeah, Jim. And look, man, the thing is, it's like if I'm still getting paid on the old videos, the only bottleneck is me making more
New
videos.
Right.
It's me.
That's what I'm trying to project out. You've got all your old stuff still producing at least 70 to 80% of what it was now, plus all the new stuff on top of it. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't see why your numbers wouldn't double. Is what I'm thinking.
So I'll give you a really good answer that'll paint this for you and your audience perfectly. Okay. So I've got a one big seasonal item. I have what's called a Dominator basketball goal. It's the Cadillac of Amazon basketball goals. It's like $2,700. Got one in my driveway. I've reviewed it. I sell one of those occasionally. It's a $71 commission. Okay. I've got a bathtub that I bought from Amazon when we did our remodel. It is also about $100 commission when it sells. So I'll keep selling those items, but you do kind of run out of those items, So when you're having a good day, it's like, well, I sold 3 of those and I get $50 on. I sold a bathtub or 2. I mean, with Amazon, you just never know. So now it's kind of like, all right, am I going to keep doing, $20 to $300 Amazon free products and making $10 or $20? Or do I need to go out and try to go kill something big again, figure something out?
Yeah.
But look, I'm still brand new to this, man. I haven't even been doing it a year, so I've got a lot that I've learned over the last year. We're learning a lot, and I am just stoked to be getting into next year and going and saying, okay, I know this works. Let's do more of this.
And we're talking about some other ways to scale as well, right? So we're just testing some things, right? So always be testing, right? So there's some ways out there to continue to expand the portfolio of videos that you've got. Creatively expand the portfolio.
Well, I love brainstorming about this with you guys. And as much as this is a podcast episode today for the benefit of the community, I've got my wheels turning. And I know we're on a good episode when just internally I feel encouraged, inspired, the creative juices get flowing. I'm thinking, all right, this is something I'm going and starting right now. And you guys know, and you guys helped me get signed up and established. And I still got to make my initial videos. I just haven't got around to it, but man, I am so motivated and excited to get into this group with everyone else and kind of go through it as a newbie with the community along with, we got some, again, I mentioned coaches on our team who went through this with you. They're putting money in the bank and they're doing well with it, having a lot of fun with it. As time allows, making videos, popping them out there. But what else do you guys want to talk about before we start to wind this one down? Is there anything we've left out? I want to be sure and point out, if we haven't stated the obvious, that there's going to be a Facebook group associated with this course content training where you can get in, interact with others who are doing it, have them help you, advise you. You can share what part, what step you're at in the process, and we can celebrate with you as you get your new levels of achievement. So that's going to be a big part of the appeal of this. And like I said before, you guys are going to be with us in May at the event in Orlando. The Proven Conference is the website, theprovenconference.com. More details be on that soon. Actually, I have our first planning meeting here coming up very quickly, actually, as I'm talking to you guys. It's next on my agenda today to start planning that thing out. But what else did you guys want to cover with the time we have?
Yeah, let me just hit those course modules real quick, just a real quick overview.
Oh, yeah, let's finish that out.
Yeah. So getting approved is a big part of this. So a few weeks there, best practices for videos. Once you're in, okay, let's talk about best practices for videos. And 1 to 2 weeks, maybe doing that as well. And then scaling is a huge part of this as well. Like we talked about scaling a lot. How do you scale? There's some different alternative ways to do that. We can talk about that. And then, but each of these sessions is always going to have Q&A afterwards. So we're going to leave, there'll be a lot of course material, but there'll also be some teaching time or some Q&A time to answer some questions. And then I think the final 2 weeks would literally just be Q&A. And then we might have also invite some people, like people who are having some success with the course, maybe to come on, we can interview them, right? So that might be part of this as well. And so that's pretty much it. So we'll probably have and then we're in that 5 to 6 week time period, there'll be a Facebook group that will work. And so that's where a lot of the power of the community is going to be in there. We're going to be active in there, helping people. Everyone in there is going to be helping each other, which is great. And that's it. So that's the course. And we're really excited about it.
Outstanding. Yeah. And if anyone wants some individual attention, we've talked about that as well. If someone needs it, we always like to offer that as well. Coaching, that sort of thing. But you guys are more than qualified, and you've established yourselves as up and coming emerging leaders with what you've built. Just super excited to have you guys on the team. And for those who are kind of reading between the lines about how we do things around here, this episode today is a great example. You come into our community, you learn a few of the basics, you try them, you build something, you come to us with some ideas that are working, we get you onto the podcast, you share it with our leadership team. You can write your own leadership ticket in this community. And that's what you guys have done. You presented an idea, we made you prove it out, show your results, help others achieve the same thing that you guys are doing. And now we're saying, hey, let's roll this out to the community. So super excited to have you guys in the leadership role. And it took, I told you when we first started talking, this is going to take several months, but here we are, man. We're rolling this thing out.
Yeah.
And I know we've got people chomping at the bit. We've had people signing up on the website for months, but here we are finally launching this thing out. Again, the website, provenazinfluencer.com. There's a link in the show notes on today's episode. Get over there, check it out. Special deals for coaching and proven Amazon course students. So if you're not one of those yet, now's a good time to consider that. Get a great discount on this thing. But all right, guys. Well, great episode. I can think of a whole bunch of other questions I might ask if we had more time, but we're out of time. We're going to hit all that in the course anyway. So really looking forward to it, guys. Any final
Jim,
thoughts?
Yeah, it seemed like we covered like almost everything to a degree, but realistically, that was a 10,000 or 50,000 foot flyover. Right. When we do the course, I'm so proud of this course that we've put together, and then I'm just chills excited about the Q&A part. So there's going to be no rock unturned. If you're in the course, you're taking this course with us, and we didn't answer something in the course at the Q&A, you're going to get it answered. Guarantee you that.
Yeah, everything's uncovered. We're not holding anything back.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, full transparency. Love that word. We're going to share what we know, what we've learned, and I'm going to be on the journey with so many others in the community as well. I love those opportunities to kind of sit and learn from the emerging leaders in this group. I can't wait, man. I'm going through this process.
Get with me after the podcast. I'll get you something special worked out price wise.
Sounds great. The wheels I've got turning, man, are we've some of these local partnerships and things that we've got going on. People with just these incredible high end, expensive, nice products, and we're talking to them all the time about them. Like, no end in sight of the things that we could, shoot little videos and review.
That was a good idea you came up with. I'd never thought of that.
Yeah,
I never would.
Well, and you're talking about something even separate. Going to these events, these trade shows, where we've got some influence, and there's already, we just added another reason to attend trade shows. We've been saying they're great, the connection, because what we've typically said is go to trade shows and talk to people about their Amazon presence, and they'll say a couple things. I can't stand Amazon. We can't figure it out. It's confusing. It's a mess. We wish we could just turn it off, but we can't. We know we got to do something with it. You can solve all those problems. They'll pay you to do it. But here's an even easier thing. Like, hey, why don't you review your review your product for me real quick? Just tell them how to do the introductions. They're part of your team now, right? So we get that covered, and boom, a professional demoing a high-end, nice product. And that's just one of just many, many ideas that I think we're going to be kicking around in this group, and maybe even organizing some events. Talk about ASD in Las Vegas, man. Just a whole nother reason to go there. Even either one of you guys been to that show by any chance?
I haven't.
Thousands of vendors, international in many cases, trying to penetrate the US market with their products, in many cases already on Amazon, and confused about it.
And if you're an influencer standing in front of somebody, they may be going, hey, can we put my arm around you? Come over here for a second. We'd like to see what we can work out special just with us and you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, just the doors this opens, and the synergy between what we already teach and this concept. I don't think we've even started to peel back the layers of what this could mean for so many people in our community. So I'm just super excited to get into this with you guys and keep exploring. Well done, fellas. Good work.
Thank you. Thanks for having us today. It's been awesome.
So much. Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
Let me talk to the listeners for just a minute today. This was a bit of an unusual episode. If this was the first episode you've ever heard, I just want to let you know you should probably go listen to 15, 20 episodes, because typically what we do around here, and we kind of did that today, is we talk to the successful students from our community, the students who have taken the Proven Amazon course, taken the concepts we teach there, and run with them and built something special. We love sharing those stories. We've got hundreds of them. But we also love educating you on new opportunities, new ideas, new strategies. And today was a little bit of both of that. So hopefully you enjoyed it. But I just want to encourage you, go check out some other episodes. And when you're ready to get started, if you want to talk to someone on our team, I've been working with a great coaching team for over 20 years at this point. My coaching director is the same guy that's been with me for 20 years. We're the most established e-commerce coaching company in the world, to our knowledge. And you can book a call with us anytime you'd like. Go to silentjimdotcom/book a call. And we'll just have a friendly chat with you about you, your business, your goals, what you're trying to do, and see if we've got anything that we can do to help you along the way. Maybe some free content, maybe a course, maybe some coaching. We'd love to have that conversation with you. But Jim, Ed, Andrew, once again, great job today, fellows. Appreciate both of you guys very much.
Appreciate you, Jim.
Thanks, guys. And we'll have another great episode for all the business building warriors very soon. Stay tuned until then.